What is going on, guys? Jack here and welcome to episode 47 of the Pentagon Challenge, here with Skovbakken in the Danish third tier of Danish football, which is the third tier West thing, Division 2. Yeah, it's a low division. Anyway, yeah, since the last episode I've played the first 10 games of the season, and as you can see here on the league table tab, things are going well. 10 games in, we are second in the league, although to be honest the table is so close at the top between a kind of a select few sides. You can see here we're second, but there's teams behind us with games in hand. We do have really good goal difference as well. So yeah, things are going well. Just a quick glance over at the fixtures. I'll look at them in a bit more detail. We started off badly, but really in the last 4 games, we've won 6-0, 4-0, 4-0. I think things are looking good. I am very optimistic now. Just a few more transfers to tell you about that happened kind of since the start of the start of the season, end of pre-season. A few more players to tell you about. Starting with Sun Nissen. This guy's a really kind of talented goalkeeper. He's only really a backup, but because of the whole goalkeeper on the bench rule, I needed to bring in some goalkeepers. So he was kind of one of the backup options I brought in. He's on an amateur deal, which means I don't have to pay him anything. So he's really just a third choice keeper. We also have Jensen Kartsen, who is a decent goalkeeper, first choice. He's on £200 a week. He's a good player. 5 clean sheets in 8 games for us as well, which is good to see. And he's been a really good player for us. We also have, oh god, I can't say that name, Tommy Leidfoged. We'll go with that. Leidfoged. It sounds Danish. I don't know what constitutes a name sounding Danish, but his name sounds Danish. He's just a backup goalkeeper for the squad. Not bad stats, but he's not as good as Jensen, and those two guys slugging it out for the positions. I feel as if they do okay jobs playing the kind of goalkeeper and backup goalkeeper role. And then just a few more youngsters to tell you about. Janus Peterson, Niels Skajar, Soren Loritsen, and last but not least, Danny Nilsson, all under 21 players. I just needed some young players to fill up the bench slots for kind of, the under 21s players. So that's the reason that they've come in. So, what has happened since the last episode? Well, as you'll notice, we did have a really shaky start to the season. We really struggled in our first 4 games, and I ended up just changing the tactics because it just simply wasn't working. So I went from that 4-1-2-1-2 formation I showed you last episode, and we went a lot more attacking, utilising the attacking players that we had, that I really talked about doing last episode. I kind of wish I'd done it sooner, but since the change, team's been a revelation. The players are performing really well. So let's look straight away at the fixtures. So the first game of kind of this sequence was against Varde, first game of the season, away tie. We were unlucky. Looking at the stats, we were in control of the game away from home, and it was a really good sign to see, and I was kind of thinking, well, maybe this 4-1-2-1-2 is going to work. Ultimately, they grabbed a goal on the break, and we couldn't get a goal, so we lost. If you don't score, you're not going to win, and it's just one of those results, I suppose. We then got a 2-2 draw against Skive, who are looking at one of the stronger teams in the league. Obviously, and I guess it's one of the things I love most about going to these really kind of random teams is that I don't know who the kind of contenders of the league are going to be. I don't know who are the teams I should be beating and who are the teams I shouldn't be beating. But a 2-2 draw, not too bad. We were actually 2-0 up in this game, and they came back to draw 2-2, so that was a little bit disappointing. I'll show you guys the highlights for the goals. But no, a little bit unlucky, but I kind of feel like I've adapted to Danish football pretty well. I was a bit worried after kind of the first 4 games, head in hand, what have I done? Why did I take this job? But it is kind of coming together now. The players are performing really well, which is good to see. And all in all, I'm really happy I've kind of taken this opportunity. It's an interesting one, to say the least. Really having to work with the older players I've brought in and very limited resources to grind out results. And although I struggled with it to begin with, I really feel as if the squad's coming together now. In training, we've been focusing on team cohesion. It's noticeable in the results, and we've been playing far better for it. As you'll see, their goals were pretty fortunate, to be honest. I mean, that's a cross that's gone in. and then they grabbed their last goal in the 84th minute. I mean, to be honest, this was a game which I was a little bit disappointed about at the start of kind of the game, but I look back on it and think, well, it's a point at the end of the day against a good team. But as you can see, we just lack that width. The fullback's really not adequate cover, and that goal just came from a simple switch ball by them, stretching out what was our narrow midfield and ultimately, keeping our defence kind of isolated at the back. The next result really was a disappointing one and certainly a low point. Third game in charge competitively. We lost to Ringkøbing 2-1. 2-1 against a non-league Danish side. Fairly 50-50 game, but we didn't turn up, and I was very angry after that game. I'm going to be honest, I was wondering, what have I done at this club? Fortunately for me, things did come together. And I don't know, I guess on the back of this last result, which was against LFA, We've looked not bad. We've looked far better with the formation change and stuff. It's working for us. So in this game, 3-2 it was in a defeat. We actually went 2-0 down after 26 minutes, and to be honest, I was a little bit worried at that point. And although we did lose this game, it gave me reason to believe that we could still kind of do something in terms of trying to get results. This was the first game when I played the 4-3-3 system, so you'll notice we do have the 3 men hanging upfield, which I feel was one of kind of the contributing factors behind the fact we got 2 goals this game. It's always tough doing a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, depending on how you want to look at it. But it's one of these formations where you're very susceptible to the counter. In FM, especially FM13, it works very well to have a defensive midfielder. Maybe that's just me, but in my own personal opinion, if you've got kind of the resources to put a central defensive midfielder in, put one in. In this instance, I really don't have an anchor man who I feel as if is going to make a difference and be a match winner for us. And so I'd instead much rather focus on having a lot of attacking midfielders, having 2 inside forwards with a kind of attacking midfielder / advanced playmaker sat just behind the forward, and really put on some pressure. It's exactly what we did this game, and to be honest, it did work for us. You'll see, there's always options for the players going forward, and a good example there of Fons, the striker's pace. I mean, he's not the youngest player, but as I mentioned in the last episode, and I probably mentioned already this episode, in the lower leagues, pace will win you games. If you have players who can outrun the opposition's back 4, you will create chances and you will get through on goal a lot of times, especially if you're playing on the counter-attack, which is something I am trying to do with this side. So anyway, we did draw it back to 2-2 just before half-time, and I was thinking, we can make a comeback here, 2 goals in 5 minutes. However, big slam back down to earth as they did score from the corner. 3-2 it finished. Hard to take, but I don't know. It's one of these things where food for thought, and on the back of this, I was like, that new formation worked for me. Let's stick with it. Let's see if we can get out some results. And immediately I was repaid with a 4-1 victory over FC Roskilde. Roskilde? We'll go with Roskilde. Lasse Hansen getting the hat-trick here. Lasse Hansen is one of the players who was already at the club. To be honest, it was a bit of a one-off this game. I have played him since, obviously. If a player scores a hat-trick for you, you have to at least give them a chance to play again. I gave him that chance. He's really not performed, and I kind of feel as if it was a bit of a one-off this game. He did score a hat-trick in pre-season, I do believe, but obviously with kind of the new players coming in, the likes of Fosse, Chrisen, and Nassar, very attacking-minded players, there really isn't a space in the squad for him at the moment, and to be honest, the creative force that sat behind him in this game was really what I feel got him the opportunities to score. We did create and craft at those opportunities. Admittedly, he had to be there to take them, but the actual kind of build-up play by the attacking midfielders and indeed from the back 4 was really encouraging for me to see, and certainly kind of gave me confidence going forward. There was a sending off in this game which really did swing the game in against us, I think. Was it a sending off for us? I think it might have been, It was. We went actually down here, and I'll just show you this sending off. We went down here, Bantram got sent off, and it was 1-1 at this point, and I was thinking, oh God, we've been playing poorly. But the credit to the players, they came big, and we grabbed 3 goals with 10 men. I mean, that's pretty crazy if you ask me to do that. And I was pretty pleased with the lads for their performance there. I've totally fucked up these sliders now, but Hansen's last goal there for you, getting the rebound off the post. But 4-1 it finished, which was a good result. And it gave me confidence going forward that this formation was going to work for us. The very next game was away to Otterup. A big game for us. I think this was our first away win. In fact, yes, it was. It was our first away win, which is a really important kind of landmark to get, because I didn't know what to expect going into the season, but I felt as if we were going to make a push, and obviously this initial start really has thrown me off, but if I was going to make a push for promotion this year, we had to start winning away, and our away form as well as our home form was going to be very important. So a 1-0 win here was really good for us. Nassar getting the goal from centre attacking mid. Good goal by him. He put in a man of the match performance, I do believe. Well, in fact, no, Dirdiok. Is it Dirdiok? I can't remember. I think one of our defenders put in a man of the match performance. I think it might have been, if I bring it up, it was Dedovic, who is the Bosnian and Herzegovian. I think I talked a bit about this guy last episode and how I thought he was going to be a good player for us. He's been one of the best players at the club. Just taking a break, I guess, from the league games to show you a bit about the team itself. Top appearance players at the moment. Lars Christensen has been absolutely insane for us. Really good player. 8.6 overall, 8.06 average rating across the last 5 games, which has been really good to see. 7 goals, 6 assists in 11 games. Other players who've been playing well, Fons, Nassar and Dedovic. Obviously Nassar and Fons are 2 of the attacking midfielders within the squad. Both of them have very good natural fitness and very good physical stats, and it allows them to play a lot of first team football, which, as I mentioned last episode and I'll mention again, natural fitness and physical stats in the lower leagues is important. If you don't have a fitness coach, which most non-league teams don't have, natural fitness plays a huge role in the kind of how regular players can play football, and having these players with natural fitness meant that I didn't have to rotate the squad too much, and it has benefited us. Looking at the goal scorers, Christensen is top goal scorer with 7, Nassar and Fons do back him up with Sondergaard, coming in like 4th in terms of goals scored with 4 goals. Looking at the assist, Christensen again, most assists. This guy's look superb. He's only got a 1-year deal. A lot of the players I signed are on 2 years deals. This guy is looking good for an extension if he continues the form in the remaining 20 games this season. So, that's a little bit about the squad. Looking at the average ranks from the last 5 games, Fons has obviously done well. The attacking midfielders have done superbly, obviously. The last few results have really thrown them off. Denis Degovic, I covered this guy a second ago, but he's been superb. Obviously, he was a fantastic little find, and he's played absolutely amazingly at centre-back and really been the rock at the back for us. So, obviously, on the back of this Otterup win that I just covered, we did get a 1-0 defeat at the hands of Holstebro, which is, I guess, hard to take. It was against the run of play, and they grabbed 2 very late goals against us, which I guess comes down to the susceptibility we have against that we have because of our tactics if teams try and hit us on the break. Obviously, with this formation, the lack of an anchor man, despite playing with these 2 kind of defensive centre mids, we still get hit on the break a few times, and it's a little bit disappointing, but hopefully we can share that up in the future. You may also notice that I've not got any backup tactics. The reason for this being is that in lower leagues, I feel as if sticking with one tactic is a lot better. Players get a little bit confused by their roles and stuff, and I'd rather just go attack, because I do feel as if we just have better quality in the attacking third than anywhere else, and there isn't really a backup tactic that I feel would be of any great benefit to us, which might sound a little bit kind of naive, but so far it's holding out for me. So on the back of that 2-1 defeat, we did get a win. Nassar with a very late goal for us. Came, again, I guess, slightly with the run of play. We played well. Team playing well as a whole. Nassar did get man of the match. But the whole defence put in a really good shift here. You'll notice we have got a few clean sheets, especially in the last 4. 4 clean sheets in a row is superb. We also got a 6-0 win, and this was amazing. 6-0 up at half-time. I really wish I could show you the highlights for this game, but ultimately it would take a very long time to do so. But looking at the whole team's performances, you can really see how well we played. It was 6-0 at half-time. I was thinking maybe we'll get a double digits, something I'm yet to do on this year's FM. It wasn't to be, unfortunately, but real clinical play. And good to see so many players getting on the score sheet. You know, Nassar, Fons, Christensen, getting on the score sheet, which was good to see. And then on the back of this, proving that it was no fluke, we got two 4-0 wins. This game, Sondergaard got a hat-trick. Superb play by him. He's a very young player still. He came in on a free. He's only 25. He's got a little bit of... He's got something about him, I feel. He's going to be really a backup player, but he's a very good backup to call upon. And considering kind of the older kind of ages, I guess, on average of our attacking midfield, it's nice to have a few backup players like Sondergaard, who are younger in comparison, but kind of provide the adequate cover I need them to, I guess, do. But all in all, I am very, very happy with how things are going. Obviously, the recent run of form and our superb goal difference has kind of seen us shoot up the table. There was a point when we were hovering around kind of right at the bottom. However, I think it's been 6 wins in the last 7, or it's 5 wins in the last 6. You know, there's been a very good run of form, and it's seen us surge up the table of late. In the Danish season, there's a winter break of about 4 months. So what I'm going to propose is that the next episode of the Pentagon Challenge will be when I'm back from the break, which is in April time. There's a break from December till April. That'll be with 15 games played. So there will have only been 5 more games played, but they are 5 very big games against good kind of opposition, you know, teams who are very strong, and they are going to be challenges. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where we stand in the league following them. I feel as if overall the team have kind of performed very well at the moment. I feel as if just off the face of it and off my initial kind of gut instinct, we've got enough about us really now to consider ourselves potential candidates for the promotion spot that's available. Realistically, I would be happy with kind of a top 3 finish. I think that would be good. I'm under no illusions that this league is going to be tough, and that if I don't get promotion within a few seasons, I may well just have to leave, simply because I can't get bogged down in the non-leagues of Sweden for too long, or otherwise it's going to affect my reputation and make it harder for me to get a job elsewhere. That said, I'm still really relishing the challenge here, and I certainly feel as if it's a task that I'm more than up to at this team. So anyway, it was a really good performance this game all in all. We played well, as you can see, hitting them on the counter here against Sydvest, but we just looked really good passing the ball around. We worked it around well, playing that really good football, using the kind of pace of our attacking players in the final third to craft opportunities, and I really can't say a lot more. We've performed amazingly. And one more 4-0 win. This time Christensen getting 2, Sondergaard getting another goal for his troubles, and Anders Fons getting a goal as well. So that was good to see. I'm not going to show this game because the highlights are really long. One more thing just to close on is the finances, which aren't looking great, and I am slightly worried about these. And the main worry is that I've been given a wage budget, and I'm below the wage budget, but we're set to lose a lot of money, and I may have to consider, if we don't go up this year, selling on players if I can get any money for them, or simply releasing players on frees at the end of their contract. So that's something that it's one of these things which is worth keeping in the back of my mind, that it's something that I have got to keep an eye on. But at the same time, I'm hopeful if we can just keep progressing in the leagues, we should be good. And I mean, if we really do hit financial hardship, hopefully, you know, someone will come in for the club, be that an owner. Particularly if I can just get promoted. Even then, if we struggle financially, you'd hope that there might be a businessman who comes in and maybe just bails the club out, which would be good. One thing actually I forgot to mention last episode as well is a little bit about Skovbakken. So Skovbakken are a team that's actually one of the oldest teams in Denmark, founded in 1927. It's actually a sports club, and they have one of the biggest basketball teams in Denmark. The club's been in the top tier a few times in Finnish football, and their only major domestic kind of title was a Division 2 win in, I think it was 1970 something. So really not a lot to shout about, but I really want to bring some glory to this side. So hopefully we can do that. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future brings. As I said, the next 5 games really will shape our season and kind of see where we end up, and I'll take things from there. So guys, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode of the Pentagon Challenge. Long episode, I guess, covering everything in lots of detail, so you know exactly what's happening here. I'm excited. We're scoring lots of goals, which is good to see. And all in all, we could still go up, which is good. So yeah. That is everything, guys. If you give the video a like, helps me out, helps people find the channel and all that good stuff. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. It's me, Jack, and I'm out.